Hey, what is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday, and sorry that I didn't get any videos out yesterday. I just wanted to take a little bit of a break here this weekend and kind of digest some of the things that have been going on lately in the game. Now, since I've had some time to really think about it some more and stew and mull over the recent events, you know, particularly this Festival of Fortunes and resultant Stark Armory event, it got me thinking about Teal Gear, which is going to be the topic of today's video, but particularly where we currently get Teal Gear now, and where we should hopefully be headed to get more as soon as patch 6.0 and beyond comes out. It was this recent event that made me really think about the floodgates maybe opening soon because of the sheer amount of gear that is coming at us via this event, which again is largely for spenders or heavy cores, but it does give them a leg up on the average player in terms of volume of Teal Gear. So this makes me think that something is going to happen soon. That's what we're here to talk about, and without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Alright, and so of course, I have to pivot here really quick just to start. So, I have to talk about the Stark Armory stockpile event. So, this is an interesting one here. I bought one of those orbs to order to get, I spent with cores there to get this first milestone, which resulted in about 132 Teal Gear pieces for just one orb. If you're going to do anything, do that, because, you know, even for 750 cores, you know, if you're in an alliance that can't kind of collaborate to get this done, to get about 200 cores or so, I believe, to, you know, get half of an orb or whatever it is in order to get there, then you can at least do that independently if you so wish to. But the amount of gear is just astronomical compared to previous milestones, and that's where I want to start here, because the sheer volume, to max this milestone, you need 18 of these Stark Armory orbs. Now, hypothetically, if you were to buy all these, because you actually could spend 750 cores times 18 to get all of those, it would be just under, if my math is correct, 13,500 cores if you were to buy 18 of these orbs flat out. Now, it actually has greater value than, say, you know, spending 675 power cores on like 6 or 7 shards on a new character. So if you're going to do anything, I actually would recommend this. However, you're obviously shortchanging yourself a little bit if you do have an alliance that can do it. You'll be getting it for less of a core per orb kind of ratio here. So I'm not going to be going on too long about this, but I just wanted to kind of point this out because it's crazy. 70, 70, 70, 210 on this milestone 3, 210 Teal Gear. Let's remind ourselves that actually one Teal Gear origin piece costs about 40k, 45k, something like that. So times this by 210, you know, that's just really throwing it out there, like over 9 million gold, you know, right? So this one milestone is worth over 9 million gold. That's just bananas if you really break it down. It's just crazy. And it doesn't stop there, right? You know, you get 140 here for the origin plus 100 Teal ABCs. That's worth a lot too. It actually slows down a little bit after that. So you get 58, 58, 58, 58, 58, 100. And then when you get to the actual minis, it's like 12, 12, 12. And this actually has a lot less value in terms of the amount of gold value, I guess you could say. The equivalent gold value and like war credit value, what it would be worth in the stores where we can get it now. But it's absolutely crazy, actually, like, how much stuff is in here. I think at the very least, the best bang for your buck, not, well, I guess if you're spending, I didn't mean to say it like that, but if you're spending cores, whatever, your best bang for your cores would be up to milestone 6, which would be all the origin stuff and the Teal ABCs. I think that's where you're getting most of it. It's not that these minis are bad by any means, but in terms of like sheer volume, it's not quite there. So I wanted to raise that one really quick before we start talking about the places where we do get Teal Gear now. And so this is really important. And the first place that I want to talk about this is the supply store. So you can see here that the ABCs, please don't buy this. I don't recommend this. But you can see that it's 60k for one, right? We looked at the milestones. You got 100 for some of those milestones. So we're talking about 60k for one times 100. That's 6 million gold of augmented basic catalysts for just that portion of the milestone, right? Not including all the other origin gear that's available. Now, I bought all of these stuff, but the supply store and the war store are the only places that you can get. Actually, that's not entirely true. Actually, sorry. Yeah, it is the only place that you can get these minis. These are the mini parts, not the uniques, because the uniques actually are rarely available in the Teal Gear Raid Orb, which I do want to talk about as well. But this is the only supply store and the war store are the only places where you can get these. I buy basically Any mini, any unique, and any origin gear piece. I skip out on the catalyst though, because you can farm them in Doom War Chapter 4, so that's important there as well. And in the War Store, I do not buy catalysts. I do not buy catalysts at all, but I do buy minis, uniques, and I do buy origin gear pieces as well. So aside from that, we also have the event milestone stores, right? That exists. I forget which one was the first one to have it. It wasn't Lady Deathstrike. Icarus. I want to say it was... I don't remember. Maybe they did have it, but people were buying shards instead. Maybe Magic was the one where it was kind of like purely Teal Gear. I think that Lady Deathstrike and Icarus's event store may have had the Teal Gear, but most people were buying the shards because that was available in those stores there. So yeah, as far as this goes, Magic in this event here with Echo, you know, primarily you're buying Teal Gear for the most part if you're an endgame player, because the other stuff just really isn't worth it. So that's what I've been doing, and that's been a fairly decent influx in terms of, you know, currency to gear ratio. You know, you get 6 for 1050, just under 200 a piece, so it's not terrible, and it's saving you a lot of gold and war credits that you're not having to spend in there as well. So there's also been, of course, random event milestones, and that's why, you know, we did have the Stark Armory stuff. But even before that, you know, we had some random event milestones that would show up every now and then that would generate, you know, a degree. Even the mirror image event as well, I believe, had some Teal Gear in here that, you know, I didn't get everything, but there was, you know, handfuls of Teal Gear every now and then throughout the milestones. So that's another source of Teal Gear too. And I also want to talk about the Armory 16 orb. I don't know why, but I find this super triggering. Like, I mentioned this on my live stream the other day, and like, this is one of the only orbs in the main supply store that has 2 pillars, a left pillar and a center pillar. I feel like this is taking the piss a little bit, because I'm like wondering like why, and it's only one. It's like one mini piece. Oh my god. And then one piece here. They kind of split it 5 and 5. Why do we not have like a side right pillar that, I don't know, has like 2 pieces of something else, like or one of each? You know, like, why is it this way? Why couldn't it have been 3 pieces and it's literally an equal chance in every single pillar? Really doesn't make much sense to me here. I maybe this is just like a bit of a rant here, but this Armory 16 orb, 2 Teal Gear, it's 2 Gear Tier 16 minis. It's pretty garbage compared to the 14 had 3, and then it actually got a little bit better that you got 4 out of the Armory 15, and this is just fucking taking the piss. You know, 2 pieces of G16 minis. Now, where do you get these Armory 16 orbs? You don't get them very frequently. You get them in offers, and I believe there are rewards for the Avengers Tower, right? No, maybe not. So the Echo event, yeah, what am I talking about? No, I don't know. It was one of these events, I thought. Am I nuts? I'm probably going nuts, because, by the way, as of recording this, we still don't have our mirror images payout, so maybe that's why I'm going a bit wonky. That's the Teal Unique Orb. You very rarely get the Armory 16 Orb, and that's the point. So is that going to be, you know, somewhere else? Where are we going to get that? Maybe in 6.0? I don't know. I do want to talk about this Teal Unique Orb as well. This is kind of interesting, but, you know, it's only available in this event here. I don't know if it's going to be brought back in the future in maybe other events or in just a more permanent manner. I'm not sure. This one is obviously a lot better than the one for the Armory 16, which is pretty garbage. You do get a guarantee of 2 different uniques on the side, and in the center you get 3. So hey, at least you get 5 guaranteed uniques per orb. Now, depending on what you rank, of course, your payout is going to be equivalent to that, but hey, you know, it's better than nothing. So let's talk about where I think we should be getting Teal Gear in the future, though. And that's where this is the obvious one that I have to point out, because I've been hoarding, and I think a lot of people are too. And this is a bit of an issue, I think, because a lot of people don't really kind of get this. And what I mean by don't get this, I mean like, we're sitting here waiting like kind of a little bit like dum-dums. I'm sitting here like a dum-dum, you know, wondering whether or not a Teal Gear War Orb is actually going to appear, because they haven't done any communication whatsoever regarding this. There was, I believe, a data mine suggesting that there was going to be a Teal Gear War Orb, but a lot of us are unsure whether or not it's actually coming using the Elite War Credits. So I have 200,000 Elite War Credits. And why am I doing that? It's because I've beaten Dark Dimension 4. I'm not super desperate for Gear Tier 15 minis, but we don't know if it's coming or if it's not. And if it does, then clearly I'm going to be a little bit ahead. You know, if it's a brand new currency, you know, that's okay too. I'm actually okay with that. But the fact is, they haven't communicated with us whether or not anything is actually going to happen. And so a lot of people are cautious. And so, you know, for that reason, it is reasonable. I just used reason twice. It is reasonable to kind of hoard it until we actually know what's going on. And then, you know, if it turns out it's a different currency, or, you know, if we're not actually getting one, then we can open it then at that point. So, you know, it's not wasted at that point. If you're desperate for something, you know, I would encourage people to go open these for the Orange Gear War Orbs too, especially if you're trying to get some progress there in Dark Dimension 5, if that's something that you need to do. What other things am I looking forward to? Well, you know, if 6.0 is on schedule for Grand Tournament, then somewhere in between here, I would kind of expect a Grand Tournament store to come. And a lot of it, this is kind of pivots a little bit to, you know, unfarmable characters. I don't know if that's what they're waiting on in that way, you know, in order to give us character shards in a Grand Tournament store. But I would suspect that Teal Gear would also be in there, just like it is for the War Store. I actually kind of would expect it to be pretty similar to the, you know, every store has had characters. So it would be weird, I guess, not to have characters in it. And then I would also expect some more premium currency, premium stuff to be in here. So Teal Gear, Orange Gear, I would expect all of that to be in there as well. It could be actually like a carbon copy of the War Store with, like, you know, not elite war creds possibly, or maybe there'd be elite Grand Tournament currency. I'm not sure. But that's something that I would expect to come pretty soon, within like 2 or 3 weeks. You know, whenever patch 6.0 is going to roll out, I would probably expect that to happen. So fingers crossed that that's also going to be another place where the floodgates are going to open for Teal Gear as well, unless there's some characters in there that you really have to have, and of course then you're not going to be able to do that. Now, thirdly, what I want to talk about is the Origin Gear challenges. So that's something that we have like every other day. And this is something where they could easily put in a difficulty 4 in order to give us more Teal Gear. Now, I don't know, you know, the dates in which this came out specifically. I don't remember when these challenges actually were released. They were released obviously sometime after ISOs, because they require ISOs to actually do them. However, I think that there should be a difficulty 4, you know, at least that would give us some Origin Gear. Since they released this, I have to say that my Orange Gear bottleneck for Origin pieces is essentially non-existent. You know, I'm doing this all the time. If you can get to difficulty 3 and farm this, you know, every week, this is actually a pretty sizable increase, you know, over the week, every week that you're getting this kind of gear. So even if it's just a little bit to start for Teal, you know, even if it's just one more challenge difficulty, I would definitely encourage that, and I think that's something we would see. Is that something we'll be seeing soon? I don't know, because I mean, this stuff got unlocked when we were already in the Gear Tier 15 stage of Orange, so maybe we're not going to actually see this stuff until like Gear Tier 17, that kind of thing, so we might be waiting like a year for that, unfortunately. But this is definitely somewhere where I would like to see more Teal Gear opening up. Now, aside from that, one more thing that I do want, actually there's 2 more things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the campaign, because while we did have Doom War Chapter 4, and that really did help us actually get some more Teal Gear, you can farm some Teal Gear Catalyst, which I recommend everyone to be doing. I spend at least 600 energy. I do 4-8, I do 4-7, I do 4-6, I do 4-5, 4-4, and 4-2. That's like 600 energy that I use every single day to farm Teal Gear Catalyst. That's absolutely why I don't actually farm. I don't buy this in the stores, because I don't need to, because I'm farming this every day and I'm saving myself money that way, and it's worth a lot. Now, where does this go from here? I don't think we're going to be seeing a Doom War Chapter 5. Maybe we will, but it just seems like we're kind of over Doom War, so, or over Dr. Doom, so as far as the story goes. So I would like to see like a Dormammu campaign, actually, or something like that. You know, a new campaign, new title, whatever it has to be. Or hey, maybe it's just a you know, an extra chapter onto this. But I would like to see that to kind of open up the gates a little bit on the Teal Origin pieces. I don't expect minis and the uniques to probably get opened up the same way that we currently don't actually have it as far as orange uniques go. We're still not able to farm that, so I just don't expect that to happen on the Teal side of things either, but I think this would be a really great place to open it up. So one last thing I want to talk about, because this is a really like not frequently talked about store, and that's the Ultra Store. This really needs a rework bad, because almost nobody uses it, and even when they did do it, barely anyone uses still. I actually just pull Ultimus Orbs in the rare off chance that I get an unfarmable character that I need. The amount of credits that you have to spend for even these orange orbs are pretty extortionate. You only get like 2 pieces, I think. It's pretty bad. I think we should see a Teal Gear version of this at some point. I think they really need to retailer this and dumb down the cost actually to open some of these orbs, because nobody should really be doing this. I just pull Ultimus Orbs and hoping that I'm gonna get like some of the rarer characters that exist in the game. Please fix the Ultra Store, Scopely, and like these prices are obscene. 2 orbs for like this is no, don't do it. Not happening. It's terrible. So really awful. Barely anyone uses this, so I think this needs a rework. Now, the total amount of Teal Gear is going up. You know, is it as fast as we would like? Probably not. I mean, I hope that I can clear Dark Dimension 5 before Dark Dimension 6 comes out, and I think that is the biggest concern here. I also want to really quickly pivot to this because I actually, like, I kind of skimmed over this a little bit. As far as the gear tier 16 in the next season goes, we're seeing increases from pieces, and they've actually clarified the definition of this. So Teal Gear here in this, that's going from 200 to 680. This is purely in reference to Teal Gear catalysts in that, and this also includes the paid pass. So it's actually, if you're looking for the free-to-play value, it's going from 100 to 340, which is a pretty sizable increase, but it is Teal Gear Catalyst, which you need quite a bit of anyways. Now, the gear tier 16 pieces that they talk about, seeing an increase to 300 pieces. I don't know what the current number is now, actually, as far as what we get, but this would be 150 for free to play, because it would be half of that, because this includes the paid track. This is Origin gear pieces, so that's about it there. So I just wanted to let people know about that, about what's going on with this. Obviously, this is an improvement. This is a good thing, and another way that we're seeing an increase in Teal Gear coming soon. So that's really nice there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. You know, many people are slowly starting to get their feet wet in Dark Dimension 5 with their first 5. I haven't yet, because I'm more picky about who I upgrade, so I'll probably be a bit more methodical in my upgrades, since I want them to be worthwhile in characters that I use daily. But I hope that 6.0 or by 6.0 for next patch, and you know, a little bit beyond that, you know, that we do see an overall increase in these numbers, so that more of us can at least experience this and start thinking more about it before Dark Dimension 6 comes out, because that was my biggest concern, is that I actually wouldn't complete Dark Dimension 5 until Dark Dimension 6 comes out. I know a lot of people have dismissed Dark Dimension 5 as well, for the most part, because of how absolutely so slow the gear income is, but things might be improving. It looks that way. I'm hoping by 6.0 we see some sizable changes to the game writ large, you know, for all sorts of reasons, whether it's Teal Gear, whether it's stability, whether it's just having more fun in the game. And that's what I'm really hoping, and that's where I'm going to end this video. So thanks everyone for coming, thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy and sane, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.